Hello, Calvary Chapel Rise. Today we're in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 already. This book is moving by quick, and I hope you learned a lot, and there's still some more to learn. So we started in 1 Corinthians today. I want you to think about this for a second. I know I had to think about it, but you have a tendency to forget. Well, I know as I get older, I have a tendency to forget, and I have to be reminded of things from time to time. And that's exactly what Paul is doing here. He's reminding the husbands and wives, and he's reminding the Corinthian church about some basics they need to get back to. He starts out with talking to the husbands and wives, the congregation, and he's telling them that God is not a God of confusion, that there's a created order that God expects of his people. And in his husbands and wives, from creation, he started it. We start out, we know that Jesus Christ is the head. We know that husbands are in authority underneath, looking to Jesus Christ for our authority. And we also know that the wives look at their husbands for authority. Now, this by no means is slamming anyone, because when it comes to Jesus Christ, women and men both have an equal relationship with Jesus. But if everybody's trying to be in charge, if there's no created understanding of the chain of command, relationship with Jesus and each other can be very difficult and confusing. So we have to be reminded of that. If we think about it, even God in his created Godhead, although the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are all equal, there is a submission. Jesus is in submission to the Father, and the Holy Spirit is pointing to Jesus for salvation. So although wives may be smarter and more capable than the husband, she still submits to his leading out of her love and obedience to Jesus Christ. What it boils down to, although this section is talking a lot about head covers, and that's more of a focus of the culture at that time, it's really reminding people that they're to have a heart of submission and obedience to Christ and to each other out of reverence for Christ. Now, with that being said, Paul quickly moves into discussion about the Lord's Supper. And he's reminding again the Corinthian church that, hey, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. That they're coming to the Lord's Supper, and he's getting word that there's cliques. There's people that are showing up that may have a lot of money, that bring a lot of food, and they're just gorging themselves, but they're not sharing it with everybody. And that's not good. They're not unified. And also there's people that are showing up, and they're drinking and partying and getting drunk before observing the Lord's Supper. And that's not good either, because they're not showing the right reverence. So Paul goes back to the basics, and he reminds them what he received from the Lord about communion. That Jesus Christ broke his body for us. He died on that cross for us, and he spilt his blood for us, for our salvation. And we should hold that in reverence and take time out in the proper order and remember that. Because that is exactly what everything stands on. That is the reason we believe in Jesus Christ, because what he did for us on the cross, he saved us. And that is such a good reminder. But with that being said, what can we take from this? Well, what we can take from this is, even us, as we are in the church, as we grow, if we spend a lot of time out of the Word, if we spend time away from the church, we can slide back towards the world, and we can forget. Well, let's take that moment today as we read chapter 11 and be reminded of what Jesus Christ did for us. Let's have reverence for him. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do we. Have a blessed day.